What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Wow. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Welcome to this week's edition of the Media Clash podcast. And as you might have saw last week, we split the episode up into the two other podcasts. So if you don't want to sit and listen to the longer episodes, you can listen to the shorter versions, which would be the Media Clash Arcade and From the Booth, available on Apple and everywhere else. So if you don't want to sit through movies and you just want to listen to video games, you can go listen to Media Clash Arcade.
No, you don't have to pause it. This can tie into the wrestling podcast we just did. Eddie Kingston's tweet. All I'm going to say is he doesn't have the balls to come to AEW.
Which tells me that he is going to go to AEW and they are going to feud.
You don't think he...
Because Tony Khan's like, this is money.
You don't think he goes to... fucking... What's his face? Tyler... not Fandango. Tyler Breeze's school and, like, train?
Probably so.
Be a trainer?
All I know is up, down, down's got to be fucking lagging fucking people now. The only person still employed is fucking Xavier.
Yeah, the party's gone.
That's really paying. Like again, you know, they're no social media shit or whatever you want to call it, really biting them in the ass.
Yeah. All right, back to Hollywood.
Yeah, but you can get the video game stuff underneath Media Clash Arcade, and you can get the movies and TV stuff under From the Booth. If you don't want to listen to the full-length Media Clash podcast. With that said, I am Wayne, your host, as always, joined by
Paul.
And we are going to talk about some things going on in entertainment. Not going to be very long this week because we haven't really been doing much. The world is kind of going crazy at this moment, so there's a lot of strife. It's probably going to make shit even harder to get.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, just as the car prices were coming down,
gas is going to skyrocket.
Granted, it won't be as bad here. Like, even when it got really bad in, like, what, 2014?
Yeah, I was in Texas before 2010. I can't remember when it was. George Bush was still in office at the time.
Oh, no, I'm talking about when Obama was in office and gas got really expensive.
Yeah.
When it was at, like, $4 a gallon.
I was in Texas.
At least here. Like, it was worse everywhere else, but gas is usually cheaper here because the refineries are closer.
Yeah.
So the transportation cost isn't really added in.
When I was in Texas, gas, I was paying $4.70 something.
Yeah, and that's, again, refineries and shit are all over Texas. Like, up north and out west, gas got bad.
Yeah. And
my dumbass was driving a Chevy Silverado 1500 heavy duty with a 26-gallon tank and a 6-liter fucking Corvette Vortec engine in it. And I was driving from Slidell to Chalmette to go to work. So that was ridiculous to fill and put gas in. Because I got maybe 12 miles of the gallon.
Start hoarding gas now. Get those 50-gallon drums.
I still have those gas cans full from Ida. Since power came on that night. Yeah, so things are getting crazy, and so we'll all just get lost in our hobbies and whatnot.
Oh, you know who's reporting from the front lines?
Who?
Sean Penn for Vice.
Oh no, he was there doing a documentary. So it's not like they sent him. Like he was already there filming a documentary when all
was
this
he?
shit
'Cause
went down.
It made it sound like like he flew there.
No, he was already over there doing a doc. I saw an article about it today. He was already doing the documentary over there, and fortuitous for him to look like. Again, he'll eventually get called out for it, just like he got called out for. What hurricane was it? He came here. He was here or whatever. It was basically a fucking photo op for him. I can't remember.
I mean, if anything, it's when he basically set up El Chapo to get fucking busted. Because he sat down and did an interview after El Chapo broke out of prison, and they ended up catching El Chapo because of it. So El Chapo put a huge fucking bounty on his head.
Oh yeah, like I said, just as the freaking car prices were starting to come down, that vet was getting closer and closer to the price that I'd be willing to pay for one.
You know, there's a Mustang SUV.
Yeah, it's not the Mach E. It's not
It's like a mid-size.
It's a fucking. I wouldn't call it a Mustang. It's got the Mustang
Logos.
looking front end, but. It's an abomination. Granted, from what I understand, if my boss he's been looking at electric cars, and it's probably the best. From what he said, it's like the best.
Oh, it's an electric car too?
Yes, it's the Mach E. That's why it's called the Mach E. It's an electric.
You get mocked
for
driving
like
it?
Because the Mustang was called the Mach 1 Mustang.
As in Speed Racer?
No, that was a Mach 5.
But
there used to be a version of the Mustang you could buy called a Mach 1. And it had like the Challenger. It had a Challenger style shaker hood. It was like in the 70s, it was like the souped up. Before there was like Shelby's.
Yeah.
It was like the high end Mustang. It was a high end Mustang version. Now they call this the Mach E. It has a Mustang hood basically, and it's basically like a Ford Escape. It looks like a Mustang, but it's all electric. But it's supposedly, outside of a Tesla, the best electric vehicle you can buy right now.
I don't know what's worse looking, that or the fucking Porsche SUVs.
At least the Porsche SUV.
They literally chopped the front hood of a fucking Porsche and put it on an SUV, and it looks so stupid.
Well, I mean, all a Porsche does is look like a Volkswagen Bug stretched.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, like, you need to add some shit to a Porsche to make it look really good. Like, and those are going to be fucking high-end dollar Porsches. But yeah, like, this, it was right there. It was in that, I was starting to find them in that $40,000 to $50,000 range. That once I traded in my car, I could get into the 30s and be good. Nope. All this shit's got to go down, and fucking shit's just gonna get all fucked up again. But with all that said, let's talk about basically let's talk about what we've watched. You finally caught up and watched All of Us Are Dead.
Yes.
And do you not agree that is basically a Resident Evil story? Like, that could have been a Resident Evil movie.
Oh, easily.
Like, just add some logos.
Yeah, it's literally ex-pharmaceutical scientist gets kicked out, experiments at home on his own son, and has dire fucking side effects.
Yeah, like,
and there's no cure.
And it's Resident. It ends with the town getting blown up like Resident Evil. Like, it was, but I mean, that's how you should have. That's how a Resident Evil movie should have been made. That's how Netflix is making a Resident Evil series. It better be as good as this, because that's gonna be embarrassing as hell.
Live action or the cartoon?
I'm assuming it's live action, because the only thing they've shown is the dog, and the dog looks like it's supposed to be live action.
Okay, because the cartoon already came out.
No, not that. No, this is like a legit Resident Evil series. Because people will question it, like, all right, so the Resident Evil movie's coming out, and Netflix is making a Resident Evil series. Like, what's going to be the difference? And I think the series might be a prequel leading up to the game, Which is still, there's like a lot of shit that happens before.
So Resident Evil 0?
Maybe.
Okay.
Or shit leading up to Resident Evil 0. So you would have at least Wesker in it, since he was a scientist at the mansion. Because 0 is literally just right before the first game, because it's Alpha Team. Or was it Bravo Team that went in first for some reason? Can't remember.
Oh, it's been a while. Might be Bravo.
Yeah. So Bravo went in first, and that's where Rebecca Chambers was the medic, and then all her shit. When after that happens, and she gets caught up, and Resident Evil 0 happens. I just don't want to have anything to do with Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, or 7. To me, those aren't Resident Evil games.
So All of Us is Dead. I went on a Korean zombie kick since the last time.
Is the Kingdom Korean, or is it? I thought it was Japanese.
No, it's Korean. All of Us is Dead.
All of Us Are Dead.
Are dead. Sorry. It's okay. They went a little too hard on making some of the characters hateable. Most of the kids you don't really root for. You don't really care if they live or die. A lot of scenes and characters are kind of pointless this season.
But I mean, I think in general, that's how it would all play out. Not everybody's going to be important.
Well, yeah, it's just the fact of we did all this stuff and there was no payoff.
I think, but again, I think like you had the whole backstory with the mom.
You had to
right? And then she just shows up, she gets all the way to the school and then dies. That's the payoff. Like,
no, you need a payoff for the kid to see his mom at the end, at like episode 11, I think it was, or 10 when they were.
Oh yeah, when they were escaping. But I mean, again, it's you didn't need all that build up of like her in the flashbacks and her trying to like run through the town and shit. You didn't need any of that to have that same scene at the end.
Yeah.
But the build, like the payoff is, let's show her trying to get to her kid and she fails.
The girl who has a baby in the bathroom, and then the detective and the other guy finds the baby. Is the baby's pretty much pointless.
I think that is just so the point. I think just
added
the way,
drama.
Well, no, I think that's that is the Korean style. Like they're not like they're gonna show you why everything. Like we're not just gonna have this random baby. Like we want to have them find a baby.
And not only that,
but their style of storytelling is we're gonna tell you how the baby got there as well.
Yeah, but also we're gonna double down and add a fucking little girl who somehow was running around in the streets. And
I think that just boils down to we're gonna show that this cop is like super about doing the right thing.
That cop had one purpose and one purpose only, is to make it to the command center, tell them about the laptop, and then, all right, we don't need your character anymore because that was your one sole purpose.
But I think, and again, it comes down. That's legitimately how the information would have came through. Like he arrested the guy.
Yeah, but
the cops would have known. They would have had to have gotten that to the command. So this is like that dude trying to get there, but instead of like,
if anything,
like I'm not gonna do my job. I'm gonna ignore all this just to get to there.
It would have been better
if he'd have went to the school to get the laptop himself.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been better written if he wouldn't went to the laptop go to the school to get the laptop himself.
I mean, I think it's just,
and then add the added drama of adding a baby, the kid, to the equation.
I think it's just how the Korean style of storytelling, where like they had all these different stories they were telling amongst the big story. But again, that's why I kind of thought of it as a Resident Evil thing. So in Resident Evil, all these other side stories you would have found in like journal entries and shit like that. except now you get to see it. So if this was like in a Resident Evil game, you'd have got to the diner and you would have gotten like notes or some shit that said this was what's his face's parents' chicken place, and there would have been like a note.
Oh, collectibles.
Yeah, like that's how all these side stories would have got told. If it was if it was in a Resident Evil game, that's how all these stories would have been told. Except now you see it.
It would have been a menu, a to-go menu or something like that of the chicken place.
Yeah, so you would have known, oh, wait, that's what's his face's parents'
name.
restaurant. Yeah, because the fucking logo had his face on it. The girl would have had, like, left a note explaining what happened.
The aspect of it is
I mean, and honestly, I haven't watched a Resident Evil movie yet. I'll watch it eventually when it's like probably when it gets down to like a $5 rental or cheaper. But clearly, I mean, Itchy Scratchy was in the trailer, and that's literally just in a journal entry. So they tried doing that in the Resident Evil movie, and from what I understand, it didn't come across well at all because it happens to them, not in.
The Resident Evil movie is they try to cram Resident Evil 1 into one movie.
But what I'm saying, like, is there not a zombie that says Itchy Scratchy or whatever?
No, it's somebody who's about to turn, and it's his diary entry, and then once you get to the point where he's about to turn, his writing becomes more.
But they show this. Does it take place in a flashback?
No, it's
because in the game that happens. That happens before.
Yeah, in the game, it's a journal you find.
Yeah, it's a journal you find, and that's the zombie that that's part of the initial outbreak in the mansion.
Yes.
Like, so they're basically showing that in the movie as happening at the same time. So they fail in the collectible, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie, like, all those side stories are like the collectibles that you would find in a Resident Evil movie. A Resident Evil game.
And it's just the fact of, like, most of those kids, they don't do a good job making you root for them. They try.
Because most teenagers are horrible anyway.
Yeah. Kids in general.
I don't think, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you're supposed to like all of them. I think there's a few that you're supposed to like.
There's only the heavyset kid.
Yeah, because you can't kill the comic relief. It's just...
Yeah, he's the comic relief. The girl in the bathroom smoking a cigarette who teams up with the Archer, who's more worried about her grades and stuff like that.
Once everything's all said and done, she's like trying to get into college.
And Orange K, or Orange J, or whatever his name was. The best character in the whole show. The fucking vlogger guy who sneaks into...
Orange Crush or whatever, maybe. I think that what it was.
The best goddamn character. Another pointless fucking character.
But I mean, again,
he's another crutch for that fucking detective.
What I mean, and again, I think the it's a way of telling all these side stories. Like, again, if this happened, there would be people freaking trying, like, it would be like people would be live streaming it, and assholes would go.
And then how many assholes you got in that school? You got the uppity bitch.
But here's the thing, like, again, that's not just all right, so it's not just a trope. Because it's in every Asian, like, anime, other movies. Like, that's like...
it's the culture of Asia.
So I think, again, it's one of those, like, to us, it's kind of cringy, but is it kind of probably legit?
No, but also it's the fact of the kid on the roof, the kid that was getting bullied with the girl.
And he just let her go. Bullied. Yeah, like...
And he knows that group of kids were on the other side trying to get out of the school, and he tells the military
there's
people,
nobody. Oh, I mean, here's
there's
the thing.
Nobody else.
Which makes us supposed to hate him, but it's not hard to believe that would happen to me. Now, what I don't believe is they didn't. Now, granted, they could have thought it was, zombies trying to break through the door, but I mean, that door was like, and you could have heard
You could have heard him screaming.
Yeah, so, I mean...
There's times when he turns around and looks at the door as he's leaving because he knows...
Yeah, he knows they're there.
They're there.
But, I mean, again, he gets what he had coming to him.
The poor teacher. Miss Park.
Again, but it boils down to these characters that are trying to continue doing their job and being good people. It does not pay off.
Literally, all right, so this is the main thing I took away from this. One, yes, this type of bullying stuff really does happen in Asia. It's a huge fucking problem.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's the same kind of shit that you could see here. It's just... It shines a light on bullying and a lot of shit that is legit.
Literally watching that first episode, one, it was tough for me to watch because I hate watching that type of stuff, the bullying type of stuff. As I'm watching that first episode, seeing the bullying with the kids, what's going on there, seeing the teachers and the principal trying to cover it up because you can't make the school look bad.
Yep.
And all this other stuff. It's literally Lost Judgment, the video game.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost the exact same plot, minus the zombies.
And this is based on like a 10-year-old comic.
A webcomic?
Yep.
No, Kingdom's a webcomic.
No, so is like All of Us Are Dead was a webcomic.
Mm.
So,
and Netflix announced that All of Us Are Dead is on its way to be the...
Oh, it is. It's the most watched hour. Like, it... Yeah.
It beat Squid Games.
It beat Squid Games. It beat Red Notice.
So...
I mean, it's very engaging. Like, yeah, it could have probably been 2 episodes shorter, but...
It's also the way it ended and stuff like that. What do you do for season 2? Yes, it kind of hints that there are some infected
Well, clearly
still
it's
alive.
gonna kind of be like Resident Evil 2 at this point. Like, the city is gonna have, like, not all the zombies are dead. She said there's other people like her out there. So that's what you're gonna have. You're gonna have these
special infected.
You're gonna have the special infected, and you'll probably introduce more military type people to go in and have to deal with the special infected. Shit like that. Like, I'm more concerned with how Squid Game 2 goes. Because that dude is just horrible. Like, he didn't learn his lesson at all in that movie.
Squid Game 2 is probably going to be another year and a half probably before you see season 2.
I don't know. You're going to have a lot of shit. I mean, it all depends on how the situation in Eastern Europe goes.
Yeah, that too.
Because that whole area is just fucking powder keg at this point. And this was, like, again, this was Netflix partnering up with Korean studios to make content for mass worldwide consumption. Like, this isn't a Korean series that Netflix is playing. Like, this was intended to be watched and released everywhere.
You got to think some of Netflix's biggest fucking programs are Korean.
I mean, because their studio system is I mean, it's not on par with American, but like, they put out, like, their movie, there's like, there's a lot, their Hollywood scene is comparable on, I guess, that level to, you know, even China makes their own movies with big budgets and shit. Now, you just can't trust Chinese box office numbers.
Oh, no. They,
like, Chan Zhen is like the, you know, Antu says they supposedly made 2 movies at once. It's about the Chinese beating, or the Koreans, or I don't know, somebody beating America at some point.
Well, you had that one movie, I think it's on Netflix right now, where you have to move the Earth because the sun got closer, the solar flares. So the big plan is to move.
Oh, no. That's like, I think the sun was going, it was like, not going supernova, it was expanding into like a red, like, the next phase in the fucking sun in its evolution is gonna fucking expand out and take out like all the way up to Mars, I think.
Yeah, so the plan was to strap rockets to Earth,
Like
and
build big,
move
massive rockets and move the planet.
Yeah, because that's logical.
Well, no,
It made a shit ton of money.
you want to know where that comes from, though, right? That is a scientific theory based in fact, but we do not have enough material on this planet to make engines that size. We would have to completely obliterate other planets to have the raw materials to build engines that size.
The sheer fucking momentum to push a planet.
No. That's what they're saying. To build the rockets,
Oh, okay.
to be able to do it, they would be so big. You would lose a shit ton of land doing it. And you would have to completely mine out of existence other, like, that's how much materials it would take. It could be done, but we are nowhere near that level of technology to be able to do it. Especially with internal combustion rockets. Like, it just wouldn't happen. So at least it was based in some form of science.
Yeah. Yeah. All of us are dead. It was okay. It had its moments. And then I watched The Kingdom, which is another Korean zombie that takes place in the 1700s, I want to say. And somebody described it as Game of Thrones but with zombies instead of dragons, and it literally is a very good description.
Yeah, because it's like feudal. It's not. That's why I thought it was feudal Japan, but it's not.
No, it's because it's right around the time when Japan invaded Korea because they wanted to take over China. So the shortest and easiest route for them was to go through Korea, go up Korea into China. So I thought it was very good period piece, like great costumes, great setting, and stuff like that. The first season really deals with the fucking zombies. Like every episode is just massive hordes of zombies, and it's just that type of zombie, like from Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Or
I miss I miss the slow shambling zombies. I really do.
Yeah.
Where like, yeah, a few you're good, but it's when you start getting overwhelmed that the tension gets high as more of them show up.
And it all comes down to like a class-based system.
Yeah.
In Asia, it was just like you got this town, it's just fucking peasants, and then you got the capital with all the aristocrats and rich people and stuff like that, and they will let the peasants' towns die before they even raise a finger to help or do anything to save to help save the people. And season 1's very good because it's just that never-ending onslaught of these zombies are just unstoppable on how fast. As soon as you get bit, and when you die, it's almost instantaneous. You come back as a zombie. Kind of like All of Us Are Dead.
Yes, if you turn relatively quick.
Yeah.
In that show.
The thing with All of Us Is Dead is that's a virus. With The Kingdom, spoiler, come to find out, it's a plant that brings back the dead. But it's not actually the plant. Like, it come to find out, there's little tiny eggs in the plant, in the flower, that when you put the eggs in, it's little bitty worms. It's basically like the
it's the fucking parasite that fucking infects the ants.
Yes, it's almost exactly like that. But the worms, once the worms reach your brain, it basically acts as the puppet master to the body. And it's just non-stop action. season 1 came out in 2019. Season 2 came out in March of 2020, like literally smack dab beginning of the pandemic. And the second season's a bit slower because it's more of the political aspects of the king is incapacitated, and you got the queen who's pregnant with the next potential heir of and it's all the political drama with trying to get rid of the old prince and all this other stuff and keep up the charade of the king's not dead, but they gave him that resurrection plant thing, so technically he's still alive. They just made up excuses on why he's not out and available and nobody can see him. They're trying to keep that spinning plates of keeping the keep the lie going, the conspiracies and shit like that. And then you finally get to zombies, like the back half. It's a really good show. I enjoyed it way more than All of Us Are Dead.
I think it's in my like watch list, but I've never actually sat and watched it.
So the problem is, like most Netflix fucking shows, no matter how popular that show is, they'll still cancel it.
I mean, it's a cost.
Yeah.
It's a cost thing.
Because season 2 ends on a pretty good fucking cliffhanger. The problem is, they still haven't announced they're going to renew it for a third season. But they did give the go-ahead, green light. They made a prequel movie called The Kingdom Ashton of the North. And it's a prequel movie. It's about an hour and a half long. Kind of very slow at first. Zombies don't show up until like...
I don't know. Looper's saying it's all but confirmed.
Really?
Yeah.
Every report I've seen saying that it's never been announced
It's never
yet.
been officially confirmed, but
Okay.
this is as of February 14th. Looper's like, with the show being an international hit and the creators clearly planning for more seasons, it's all but confirmed that Kingdom Season 3 is on the way.
Supposedly the writer says they can do at least 10... They have this mapped out enough to do 10 seasons.
I mean, that's how you write a good show.
Yeah.
That's how you make good TV. Long-term storytelling. That's how you make good wrestling. That's how you make good anything.
Yeah.
That's how you make good video games. If you're going to make a video game that's 100 hours, long-term storytelling.
They, the movie's okay. It's very slow. Zombies don't show up until like the last 20 minutes. But it's a prequel setup movie for this new character that's coming in that will be that it got introduced in season 2 that would be the main protagonist in season 3. But literally, you're watching a show, and if you know Game of Thrones, and you're watching a show, and it's like, okay, that's fucking Charles Dance's Lannister. That's the Queen very much acts like Cersei's Lannister. The Crown Prince that's on the run because they're trying to kill him. They basically framed him for treason because they're trying to get rid of him. Because if the king, once people find out the king is dead, he takes over the throne. The advisor and his daughter who got pregnant from the king and married the king, their plan of...
Oh, yeah, they want their heir.
They want their heir to be... And she has to have a boy. And the advisor, who's very much like...
Littlefinger?
No. But that's a good point. No, he's Charles Dance's character.
Tyrion
Lannister. Very much like that. To the point of like, I will sacrifice my own fucking daughter to... Because he's in like this clan that's like the Lannisters. Bunches of pieces of shit. But they're like very high in the pecking order. And he'll do anything to keep that and not bring shame to that clan. Because the daughter has to have a boy. And you can only keep up a pregnant fucking charade for so long.
Yeah.
Especially if she doesn't have a boy. It's a very good show. You should check it out. If you like All of Us Are Dead.
Yeah, I've just never watched it. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've watched other than the thing we can really start picking apart. I don't think so.
Oh, and I seen The Raincoat Killer, which is a docuseries about a Korean serial killer back in the early 2000s. That was just, dude was fucked up.
Dude, people are fucked up.
He had like a god complex, hated women, murdered a shit ton of people.
Like, there people are fucked. There's like that dude from South America or Mexico, one of the two, and they pretty sure he's got like a body count of over 100 people, and he's out. He's got a fucking YouTube channel.
Does he?
He's never like according to him, and like as far as people could tell, he's never killed he's never killed an innocent person.
Oh, okay.
He's like literally he killed somebody that was attacking his dad when he was a kid. Then he eventually kills his dad for hitting his mom. Goes to jail, like kills some other people, goes to jail, kills a shit ton of... He's like friggin' Frank Castle, basically, in real life. And he's like, he got out and he's got like a fucking YouTube channel and shit now. But yeah, I'm trying to remember, other than the normal shit I watch, like
Righteous Gemstones is fucking great. The season finale is Sunday. I can't wait to see that.
We finished Peacemaker.
Yes, we talked about that last week.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, that's right. Yeah, there was no episode this week.
May 25th is Kenobi.
Yes. Superman and Lois is still pretty good. Better than all the other CW shows, which I have basically stopped watching. Because, this version of Superman is just way better than Henry Cavill's. I'm sorry. But I guess we could talk about the big thing that, we both watched.
What?
And that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Well, I thought you watched it.
I completely skipped that piece of shit.
Well,
I watched a review.
Oh, no, I thought you actually watched it. It is...
But I know all the bullet points.
It is great in theory. Like, the story has the potential to be really good.
Could be.
It looks really good. It is shot really well. And it fails. The story it fails. The story fails this movie so hard.
Literally, when the trailer first dropped, I watched it, and the first thing that came to my head was they literally just ripped off Halloween, the Halloween remakes. Like,
yes, because
the Danny McBride Halloweens.
There was no reason to bring back, and it's not even the original actress, because the original actress is dead. There's no reason to bring back the character from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre that got away.
Marilyn Burns. That's her name, the original actress.
Yeah,
that's her real name.
Yeah, she passed away a few years ago, so
2014.
Yeah,
I want to say.
So they couldn't bring her back, but they brought her character back, who's supposed to have gone on to become like a great Texas Ranger, who could never find Leatherface because, as the gas station attendant said, he was wearing a mask, and it's kind of hard to find a person that was wearing a mask. Which I guess is not wrong.
No.
But, and again, of course, what is... So you ruin that by... He's got a mugshot sketch hanging on... He's got all these things in the gas station, like, talking about the story and, like, the murders and stuff. And he sells chainsaw... wine openers, like corkscrews. So he's making a little, like, it was a little too much, especially when later on one of the girls that survives to the end stabs Leatherface in the arm with the chainsaw corkscrew. Like, okay, that's what that was used. We needed that for. And they perfectly waste a perfectly good story. Like, not even just a Texas Chainsaw Massacre set in the modern day, so you have to address things like the internet and the phone and shit like that. They make one of the two girls that makes it to the end a survivor of a mass shooting at a school. So here you have someone who lived through a massacre, who you then can make the hero, and she has to be saved by her sister at every turn. Even to the end, when they think they've killed Leatherface, it's the sister that saves the girl. Like, the actual girl who's lived through a massacre, who should then be transformed into a character who doesn't need saving, who then, through this trauma, can take care of herself and should be the ultimate hero in this. No, we don't get that. We don't do that. We've got a stereotypical Texas tough guy who rolls coal on the yuppies, the hipsters, in a camouflage Tesla, because I guess they couldn't pay to have that Tesla logo, so there's like some weird grill over the front of the car, so you don't see it's changed enough to where it doesn't look like a Tesla. Because that's a thing you can't, you have to. If you go watch most TV shows, all car logos are blacked out or taken off the car, because if the logo's there, that means they're paying to use it, or it's been paid to be put in the movie or television show, whatever it is. So technically, my short film that I did, I should have blocked out the Chevy logos on the Camaros that were in the show, but I didn't, because fuck it. But so yeah, he's a perfectly wasted character, because of course it's the trope of, let me talk shit about this redneck, because one of the girls is like, how small is, like, they're filling up they're at a gas station. Hey, you're in an electric car, so what the fuck are you doing at a gas station?
It could be some cause of both. It
wasn't a hybrid. It was a perfectly quiet Tesla. Like,
oh.
And but she says out loud, and not loud enough for him to hear, how small of a dick do you have to walk around with a gun on your hip? And the dude, like, fucking, like, starts saying shit to him. They leave, and then he, like, flies past them in his diesel fucking truck. And, like, there's something you can do when you drive a diesel, that you can downshift or do something, and it fucking just kicks out fucking black smoke. So he fucking does this, and of course, when they get to the town, that's the guy who they had contacted that was fixing up and giving them estimates on what it would take to fix up this fucking ghost town. Of course.
It just sounds like it's the most stereotypical.
And that's what I'm saying. It's
stereotype fucking characters.
It's every trope that you can imagine. They squander every bit of good story they have. They don't address why Leatherface is hiding out in this orphanage if the woman that runs it is his legit mom.
It's also a fact of, we're going to make this movie, and every single sequel that came after it is not canon anymore. So this is technically a sequel.
This is a sequel to the first one, not even the second one. It's a sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
So again, I hate when they do that. Like, be a good enough writer to be able to, continue a story. That's my biggest problem with these things.
It's also, they did it before. Like,
yes,
one of the other Texas Chainsaw Massacres was a sequel to the first one. It was supposed to be the official sequel to the first movie. I think that's the one where they had that huge shootout at the beginning. The girl was a baby and got snuck out, and then it turns out that she's all grown up now, and she finds out that she's
one of them.
Yeah, Leatherface's sister.
Oh, that's
like
the one with.
Niece.
Yeah, I know which one that is. That's the last one that came out. Because there's two other ones on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, then there was the prequel that's called Leatherface.
No, there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. And then there's one in like 2000 and something, which I think is the Jessica Biel one.
No, the Jessica Biel one was like mid 2000s.
That's what I'm saying. That's,
Yeah. And then you had like another 3 after that. There's the 3D Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I think that's the one I'm thinking of. You had a prequel where you have to show the origin story.
Yeah, no,
of
the one you're talking
Leatherface.
about with the girl is like the girl from Baywatch is in it. That was in the version with The Rock. Angela Daddario, I don't know. She's been in some other stuff,
No clue.
but she's not that great of an actress. And
I want to say there's been like 8 fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
yeah, no, I'm talking about like modern, like new, not old ones.
Well,
but
you got
new ones.
You got to think. 74 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think 82 or 83 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. 3 was right after that, and then you had the Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger.
That one's not bad. I love Matthew McConaughey in that one.
The Next Generation.
I think that's what it was. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull up the timeline.
Because I know that you had to have that fucking origin story called Leatherface that shows him as a kid, like why he became who he was. You had the Jessica Biel one that was basically a fucking Scooby-Doo mystery hour.
That one wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but
The only thing great about it was Liel Erling
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there was some
playing
good.
the
There was
sheriff.
there was some good.
And you brought back John Larroquette.
Yeah, there was some good bits about that Jessica Biel one. Films. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74,
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 86, Leatherface the
Really?
Texas
That late,
Chainsaw
huh?
Massacre 3 was 1990. Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Next Generation was 95, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Beginning 2006, Texas Chainsaw 3D 2013, Leatherface 2017, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. But this doesn't tell me who. It doesn't give me the stories. Texas Chainsaw Massacre story chronology, original continuity. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74, 86, Leatherface 90, Next Generation, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2020. This is saying the new one takes place after the fourth one.
No, that's not right, because every report I've seen saying that technically you're supposed to not. This is a direct sequel to the first one.
Yeah, because the kids in the van is the first one.
Yeah, them traveling across Texas, and they pick up the hitchhiker.
So then the Platinum Dunes remake continuity is 2006's and then 2003's. And the Millennium Films alternate continuity is Leatherface in 2017, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74, and then Texas Chainsaw 3D 2013. So that's the one with the dog, little girl that grows up to find out she's related to him.
Yeah.
Unless what they're trying to say is, yes, the character is from the first movie, but the other three movies, the other movies took place still.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're saying that chronologically the new one is after the first three. So maybe this does happen the new one does take place after 2 and 3. So like those first 3 movies actually do happen.
I don't know if anybody's still alive from the original. I think they all died.
Yeah, because what's his face is in the second one, right? The dude from House of a Thousand Corpses?
Oh, Bill Moseley?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he plays Chop Top in the second one. But that wasn't even Gunnar Hansen in the second one. That was I forgot the Leatherface's name. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. It's so fucking complete opposite of what the first one was.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Dennis Hopper going nuts with a massive chainsaw.
I mean, supposedly, one of the original co-writers is a producer on the new one.
Oh, is it Banner?
Kim Hinkle?
Oh, no, never mind. No, Banner is fucking Night of the Living Dead. Sorry. So, Toby Hooper had nothing to do with this one? He just stopped putting his name on the fucking movies?
No, Toby Hooper is not anywhere on...
He just got a story credit, I'm guessing. Or based on characters.
Probably.
Yeah, they got John Larroquette to do the voiceover for the original because they went to school together.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's what this is then. There's, like, the first 3 movies still take place. And... Which, again, really doesn't make sense why he went to a fucking orphanage. So he had to have been being hidden out there for a reason. Like...
Yeah. Or maybe he went... After the shit went down in the first one, he escaped back to the orphanage because that's probably where he grew up before he got taken back by the family or something.
Maybe.
Or got kidnapped from the orphanage by the family.
Yeah, so no, I mean, like, okay, so according to this, not just the first 4, like the first 4 movies. So 95's fucking The Next Generation. So the Matthew McConaughey one.
That was an attempted reboot.
According to this, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation is in the continuity of the new one.
Whatever. I don't think that's right. They Jeremy Johns brings up a very good point of if this is a continuation of the first one, that means Leatherface should be like in his late 70s in this fucking movie.
I think the point is they de-age him. He's not supposed to be as old as he looked in the first one.
Yeah, because he probably was in his 20s in the first one at the most.
And I think what they're trying to tell you is he was in he was younger. He was just freakishly big.
Okay.
I mean, if we're gonna say he was one of those fucking freakishly large, like 15-year-olds.
Had one of those glands.
Yeah, so
yeah.
And that's the kind of the problem that, you come across when McConaughey's budget, $600,000, box office, $185.
Yeah. Because they re-released that when McConaughey and Zellweger became huge. They re-released that and tried to like piggyback off of their stardom. But it's the fact that, like, if you're a fan of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I highly suggest...
I mean, here's the thing, though. According to this plot, it's not the same plot as the first one.
No, it's they kidnap Renee Zellweger, and Matthew McConaughey has a fucking robot leg that malfunctions. And I don't know how Leatherface is related to Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if they're cousins or brothers or something like that. It's been a very long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Again, I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre the same way I kind of like Saw. I love that this long-ass story. At least they're more Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels are more cohesive than Friday the 13th sequels.
Yeah.
Where, Jason just comes back.
If you want a great behind the scenes, like learn the making of the first movie, Gunnar Hansen wrote a book back in when was the horror convention that was here? Was that 2015? 2014?
Was Teresa and I married yet or no?
No.
So that was 2014.
2014. Okay.
Either into 2013 or 2014.
It was right around the time because Gunnar Hansen died not long after the convention. Monster Mash.
Mad Monster.
Mad Monster. That's it. He was selling his book, and it's basically the behind the scenes of the making of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's very good. Like, there's a lot of stuff you'll learn about the movie. Eventually, I'll go to Texas and stay at the bed and breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say it's bad. Like, I was thinking of how, because we last episode, you asked me about star ratings on shit, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
I was thinking about it during the week, like how to explain like my rating, because I don't think a 1, like. I've always said that everything you watch always has a good story somewhere at its beginning, and then it gets fucked up over time when other people fuck with it. And clearly, this had a good story at one point that just spun out of control. So I think what my 1-star rating should mean is this exists. I'm not saying it's horrible. Like, I don't want to say a movie is bad and shouldn't have been made. I just, like, everything deserves to be made. Like, if somebody's got an idea for something, I'm not going to say you should not make that because you're stupid or, like, no. I'm sure whoever originally wrote this screenplay wrote a really good screenplay that if we read it would probably be great. It just got fucked up somewhere along the way. So I think my 1 star is this exists. 2 stars is some people will enjoy this. 3 is mainstream appeal. Like, it's a movie that like people are going to enjoy. 4 and 5 stars is when you start getting into like really good important movies. I haven't made the distinction between a 4 and a 5 yet, because I don't think anything is perfect. So I don't think 5 stars should be perfect movie.
Jaws. If you get past the special effects, Jaws.
I'm trying to think back on the story beats of Jaws. Yeah, I guess for the time, the mayor and all that not closing the beaches down makes sense for the time. If you were to make a modern day remake of that movie, that would not fly. That would be just, of course you didn't because you need the movie to continue. You would have, that's something you have to come up with a clever way of writing around, which this movie does not do. Like, this version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre had the opportunity to cleverly deal with modern day, and it doesn't really do it. But it's kind of like there's a scene in this movie that's just like the scene in All of Us Are Dead with the influencer, where you see the reaction of a live streaming crowd who doesn't believe what's going on. To the point where, like, the last thing you see on somebody's phone is like, oh, it looks all fake to me. And I think, again, somebody, like, they had a really good idea, and then, like, people just came in with, like, these dumb ideas. Not even dumb, because I could see that meeting, that story meeting, where, like, wouldn't it be awesome if he just killed a bus full of fucking yuppie, like, hipsters?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's a great image. Does it work on film? No.
The first thing...
Because that's what we get. We get him slaughtering a bus full of people. And it's a great visual. Does it make sense in the context of this movie? No. As, like, just a scene, yeah, it's awesome. It's Leatherface fucking chainsawing a bus full of fucking dumbasses. But it hurt, like, to me, it hurts the movie.
The after watching the trailer, the main thing that really sealed the deal of me not watching this film was the line, "I'm going to cancel you, bro."
But I mean, again, they had a really good story idea of let's poke fun at modern times.
Yeah.
Like, what does canceling mean to a psychopath? Nothing. Like, you think that's something, like, in your world, that's bad. This dude doesn't care.
Also, I heard the special effects are pretty bad. Like a lot of CGI blood and stuff like that. No?
Dude, this fucking, oh God, no. This is like,
Practical effects.
I mean, there's probably some shit, but I mean, it's not like you're fucking seeing, you see the fucking CG split. No, it's not. No, I would say, honestly, I'll give this a two stars, because there's people that are gonna like it, and it's not like, again, I'm saying at its heart has a really, like, the story was good at its heart, and then they just threw shit on top of it that kind of fucked it up.
Yeah.
I'd say it's worth. I mean, it's like an hour, and I don't think it's all that long. It's worth. I think it's worth. I rented it for like $5. Like, for $5, it's worth it. Or is it streaming again? No, I think I rented it on Amazon.
You rented that movie?
I think so.
It's on fucking Netflix. It's a Netflix original, isn't it?
No.
It's on Netflix. Because I've seen advertisement. Every time I turn on Netflix, there's a fucking advertisement for it.
Maybe I did watch it on Netflix. Yeah, because then that's when yeah. So I watched it on Netflix. So it's free.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, as someone who likes horror, like, again, but you give me shit for liking all the Saws. And I love the Saw movies. Except that stupid prequel one that made no sense.
Trash.
That one was garbage. Spiral made my top 10.
I just didn't bother watching it.
But like, I would say it's on Netflix. Is like, I'd say watch it. Watch it knowing that they tried to tell a good story. Because the way that story goes, Leatherface is the good guy.
Yeah.
Until the girl from the first movie shows up as the marshal who, now
Sally?
the good guy shows up. I don't remember.
I think it's Sally.
Now the good guy shows up to get retribution for the first one. It just doesn't play out. I mean, she gets chainsawed to the point, like, he stabs her and lifts her. Right?
Yeah.
Amazing visual. So I'm like, this is awesome. Like, she gets no retribution. She has waited all this time to get retribution for her and her friends, and she does not get it. That is a good horror film. That is a good way. That's a good story beat. Like, we've established this character's life was changed, and she became a ranger and all this shit. She does not get the retribution she was looking for, but she doesn't die right away. She gets thrown to the ground, and she's still alive enough to reload the shotgun and throw it to one of the girls. Like, no. She should have been split in half. So I think, again, I think this was like a really good story that people in the writer's room, or like revisions on the screenplay, just like, wouldn't this be cool? Wouldn't this be cool? Wouldn't this be cool? And by the time they got through all the wouldn't this be cools, the fucking thing was convoluted as fucking hell. And they had to try and... There is one trope in all horror movies that when you see it, you know the slasher isn't dead. The monsters never die by their own weapon.
Oh, yeah.
So she swings the chainsaw up and hits him in the face. And he falls into this pool, like, of water in this old theater and starts to sink. And, you know, and they leave and they go get in the electric car and shit. And they go to leave. And then, boom, he shows up and he rips one of the sisters out of the car, fucking cuts her head off as the fucking autopilot is, like, driving away with the other girl who can't do shit. That's the only CG that looks bad. Like, he's holding her, like, when he cuts off her head, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it looks fine. Like, it looks good. Like, it's a little too clean, but again, it's probably filmed on digital.
Yeah.
Which, film it on digital, unless you're shooting it with, like, a red at, like, a certain frame rate to make it look like film, always looks too clean. And I think they tried to do their best to kind of dirty it up a bit. But I don't know. Like I said, I would say 2 stars, go watch it. It's worth, I mean, as a horror fan, it's worth watching just to see what they did.
It's one of those movies that they might be losing the license to the franchise.
Yeah, it doesn't need to exist, probably not.
We had to make a movie to justify it, to renew the licensing. And it just sounds like a whole bunch of people got in a room. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if we did this scene?
Exactly.
Did this scene, and that's just write a
wouldn't
movie
this be
around
cool?
it.
This would be cool. This would be cool. And again, so that original story of like, what the hell would, like, this town, like, Leatherface versus these gentrifiers, which makes Leatherface the hero. And then you have like some dumb, like, the things that are thrown and layered on top of it. And at the end, after the fucking credits, they show him walking back to the house.
Of course. Because he's not.
So who would still be alive? That's my question. Or is it now because you know this movie, like, it's a Netflix movie. So if Netflix wants to fucking pay for another one, who's at the house still alive all these years later?
It's just him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would just be him.
Quick news, rapid news. The Oscars announced 6 of the categories won't be televised. Due to time and, I guess, trying to keep it going.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they've been pretty long lately.
Yeah. In ratings and stuff like that. The trailer came out for Our Flags Mean Death. Taika Waititi's new show for HBO.
I'm gonna have to go.
Very fucking Taika Waititi. I don't know if it's his show, but he's in it. He plays Blackbeard.
Oh, dude, I still gotta watch Free Guy.
Yeah, me too. And then Amazing Jonathan passed away yesterday. Who is an amazing comic.
Oh God, he was
one of the funniest comics I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, during my childhood, like, his stuff was he's a prop comic.
I mean, he was a magician too.
Yeah, he was like a sleight of hand.
Yeah, he was a magician comic.
But he was so fucking funny. Like,
yeah.
I think that's about it. And I'm sure we're gonna do fucking Batman next week.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about Batman.
Almost 3 hours.
When does Batman come out?
March 4th. Next Friday.
Yeah, we'll have to film I go see it Saturday. So we might just have to get together Saturday.
I don't know when I'm seeing it.
Night once you see it, we'll do a.
Yeah.
I'll put together a review video. Speaking of videos, I did my top 10 movies of 2021. I don't know. I might put up what I have, or I might re-record it to put up for Monday.
Is Batman almost 3 hours?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he said the original cut's even longer. Which I could see Matt Reeves making like a 5-hour Batman movie.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to try to obtain. I'm going to see if it's anywhere. I know Nightmare Alley's on Hulu right now. You can watch. We'll probably watch that this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to try to watch that this weekend because I'm not leaving the house.
Yeah,
at
fuck
all.
Mardi Gras.
I'm going to try to find a copy if it's for rent yet. Licorice Pizza.
Honestly, the only place that you could go to the movies this weekend, you just have to go to Elmwood. You could avoid everything by going to Elmwood.
You
take the interstate.
Earhart.
Not even Earhart. You could take the interstate to Clearview and just go down. The Metairie parades are on the other side of the interstate.
Yeah, but
the interstate's empty.
You take Earhart, you fucking bypass Clearview traffic.
During the parades, there's going to be no traffic on Clearview. That's the only good thing about the Metairie parades is traffic is non-existent on the interstate and the other side.
I want to say the Metairie parades don't even come close to Clearview. So technically, you go to Clearview.
No, they start over there.
Oh, they start at Clearview?
They start at Clearview. Down? Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was down. I thought they started...
No, they end at the end of Vets.
Okay, I thought they started at the end of Vets.
No, they start at Clearview and end at the end of Vets.
Okay, never mind then.
They now I don't know how long that's gonna be for because they're building all that shit over there. So eventually they're not gonna be able to stage in the parking lots over there.
Oh, and one of the Metairie parades on Sunday got canceled, so there's only one parade instead of two.
So yeah, other than that, I mean, we're at like an hour. There's no really video game stuff. Not really much to talk about. We'll talk about it at length next week. Because
they got the DICE Awards going on right now.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Should be finished Witch Queen by then. Even though I've watched everything to see, because spoilers don't bother me. And I've only really been playing Cyberpunk and Jurassic World Evolution.
I got a copy of Elden Ring that I'm probably going to start and get frustrated and quit within an hour.
Yeah. So with that being said, that is it for the Media Clash podcast. And remember, check this out. This will also go up under From the Booth, which will eventually probably have its own content at some point. But
yeah,
we'll just break down the longer episodes and put them in small chunks for those who don't want to listen to all the other crap. So until next week, I am Wayne. That was
Paul,
and we'll see you later.